What's going on, everybody? 404 here. Back to give you yet one more StarCraft 2 replay. And I know it's been a while, but I am back. I actually have a new computer and actually have more time to cast these games. And one thing that really brought me back to casting was there just really isn't many games being cast anymore. Since there's so many live streams and stuff like that, I've noticed all my subscriptions on YouTube, it's just almost like nothing a day, or they're really crappy, or whatever the reason be. So I'm going to be casting here hopefully a little bit more often. I know it's kind of hard to do, to get a lot of games in, but I'm going to try my best to get as many as possible. This game is going to be between MyongJiNL, this right here, the Red Terran, and up here it's going to be IMYongHwa, HWA, the Protoss player. So a good PVZ or PVT on Zelda Caverns. It does look like this is on the, let me double check before I say it's on the Korean. Pretty sure, yeah, it's on the Korean server. It was just a BattleNet game, as you could tell by the colors up here. And yeah, hopefully it'll be pretty good. Does look like we do have around about a 13 gate for the Protoss player up here. By the way, I'm probably just going to call him Protoss and Terran because those names are hard enough to say as it is. Pretty standard so far. We do have a gas coming down from the Terran player here. Probably not going to go for the super fast expand, maybe delayed fast expand. Of course, it is going to be cross positions on this modified version of Zelda Caverns. I don't think the blue player could have spawned over here. So blue player can only be here or here, and the Terran is scouting in the wrong position and is going to find out sooner or later that the Protoss player is indeed up here. First gateway down here, Cybernetic core warping in, no Zealot. Instead, going to go for that second gas. So neither player looking like they're going to do any kind of super fast expansion or anything like that, as there is a tech lab going to be laid down on that racks right there. Planetary or orbital command has finished here. Mule dropped down on that mineral patch. Going to be getting those minerals fairly fast here, and yeah, second gas really fast, and then the Terran player is scouting all of this. Going to be getting out the Stalker as well as the Warp Gate research, and pretty close to having exactly the minerals as that's come out. I've been trying to work on that. I do play Zerg, but I've been playing Protoss here as of late, just for the heck of it. And it's awesome. It's an awesome feeling whenever you get your Cybernetics core finished and you can start that first Stalker as well as the Warp Gate research. And just only have a couple of gas left. That means you are using your minerals and gas as effectively as possible, and it just means you're a boss. So yeah, what do we have coming out of this tech lab? Looks like the first Marauder has come out. Slow being researched, almost done here. It does look like a Sentry though has come out for the Protoss over here, so I don't think anything is going to, well, I take that back. It does look like the Protoss player is getting up for an expansion here. So he is going to go 2 gas, 1 gate expansion. So, wow, that's cool. That's weird, I guess. Going to be putting all those money into the Sentries here. Sentries do train fairly fast now. 37 seconds for that Sentry to come out. So Sentries train fast with that latest patch, 1.33 patch. But it does look like the force of 1 Marine, 2 Marauders, and 2 SCVs are going to make their way out across the map here. I don't know if that Stalker saw it. I think it did. And it does look like a Terran player is going to do a little bit of pressure here. Protoss player really doesn't have much to do with all this. That Marauder slow can just be trifling. It does look like the bunker is going to go down here. Again, 2 SCVs will be here to repair and build that in case one does get taken down. But it does look like the expansion was canceled, so the damage already has been done. Anything after this is indeed just icing on the cake for the Terran player. It should give enough time for the Terran player to secure his own expansion, but no, it looks like he's going 1-1-1, staying on this one base for as long as he can, it looks like. Producing, does he have a tech lab on here yet? Yeah, he's going to float the tech lab onto the starport there, so Banshees maybe with Cloak. Who knows? We might know here in just a second. Start something. So nothing yet. It does look like a small engagement here, but the force fields from the sentries will keep the Terran player at the bottom of the ramp. So no real damage going to be dealt yet. And it does look like we have Cloak coming down. So Cloak Banshees, but little does the Terran player know that the Protoss, since he couldn't expand, did go ahead and throw down an extra gateway and the Robo facility. So Immortals are going to be coming out because of those Marauders there, and I'm assuming, yeah, Observer queued up just in the nick of time. Well, not really in the nick of time, but Cloak has a mile to finish, and the Banshee hasn't even been started yet. So that's very strange, unless I'm... Nope, there's no Banshee on the field. 3 bunkers, though, now, so a really big investment down here. The salvage, I think it has been, yeah, 75%. Now instead of the 100%, so you don't get everything back, but you do get a lot back. However, army size showing Protoss player is just ahead by quite a bit. I don't really know what the Terran player is doing down here. I thought this game was going to be a really high level game. Not saying that it's not, but it just looks like Protoss player way ahead, even though the Protoss player has been contained up here. So Stalker picking away at this. It is forcing these SCVs to repair and spend minerals on this, and it's free for the Protoss to do, so why not? Oh, this is a terrible, terrible, terrible idea. I don't like this one bit. I do believe we'll be able to break this, but at what cost? It does look like the Immortal in the back is getting focus fired there. Everything is going to get cleaned up here, and I don't think he lost many units at all. He lost that one Immortal, actually. It looks like... focus firing it did kill it, but that's the only unit that went down there. I didn't think that was going to be the best angle, the best idea to attack into that. However, the Protoss player did break it, is going to secure his own expansion, push out across the map, as the Terran player here does have this command center warping into an orbital command. Going to be throwing that down there on the low ground. Probably going to throw a few defensive bunkers up here, but this Protoss ground force is huge, and it is going to be pushing up the ramp here in just a second. Plenty of Zealots, an Immortal, and plenty of Sentries with tons of energy on them for those force fields and the Guardian Shield, and only a couple Stalkers, which is just absolutely perfect for this. But Cloak comes down on the Banshee, and the Protoss player is going to have to go all the way home, as there is no Observer in sight. Looks like this Banshee did swing around the back here, got a little bit of damage done. About 5 kills on that. I'm assuming those are all probe kills. This one has 3 kills on it, and those are not probe kills. Those are all sentry kills. So... slap me on the wrist for saying the Terran player didn't really know what he was doing, because he absolutely does. Catching this Protoss army just completely off guard. Gonna have to switch into more Stalker type play. Expansion is now up. Should see some probe transferring. Yeah, just a few probes are gonna transfer down there. Keep that probe production up as well. The phone is ringing, and I don't know why that's even down here. So the Banshee in the back can come back at any time and just do some more harassment. There is an Observer right here parked with a couple of Stalkers, so I don't think that Banshee is going to do much. It is moving here, but I wouldn't be surprised if I missed it. Looks like it is queued up to swing around here to the natural. To his surprise, though, there will be an Observer there. Not that many Stalkers still, only 2 Stalkers right here, and it looks like 3 up here. So it looks like the Protoss player needs to warp in a couple more Stalkers if the Terran player is going to stick with his Banshee play. Doesn't look like he's going to stick with it, though, really. Raven is coming out on the field, and I presume that Tech Lab will be swapped out for a reactor whenever that's done, or shortly after at least. Tank production, nope. Hellion production going to begin, maybe for this factory here, as the expansion for the Terran player is looking really, really good. Income tab shows 39 to 43, so the Protoss player is a little bit ahead, but with the mules of the Terran player, that's just like LOL. Doesn't really matter. Mules are so good. Do have another Raven coming out of here, so that's kind of weird. I guess it's going to get energy for those PDDs, negating the Stalkers to attack these Banshees here. That's a really good move. I don't think I've really seen that done. It sounds really easy, but it's not. And since there isn't really many Stalkers to begin with, that could be very, very, very bad for the Protoss player. This Banshee is going to go home, maybe get repaired. 6 kills on it. Looks like 2 fresh Banshees. Attack move. Nope, that's the other Banshee. And a fresh Banshee. So they are attack queued up to attack this natural here. Observer here again is going to just pretty much negate that. Looks like 2 Stalkers still, so looks like the Protoss player really doesn't want to build Stalkers for whatever reason. He knows that Banshees are a threat. He has seen them. And as soon as he pulls out there, the 2 Banshees do come in here, and there are only 2 Stalkers. Sure, they are sentries, but the sentries do not really do that much damage. 2 more Stalkers going to join in on the fight. Might be able to pick off one of these, but no, they pull back just in the nick of time. Would be wise to run these home. Use these later, maybe in a bigger engagement. Because with those point defense drones of the 2 Ravens, that not enough energy. Yeah, there is enough energy on both of these to throw down. So they're 2 point defense drones worth of energy. Going to be able to throw down, negate Stalkers from even existing, basically. And they might be able to pick up a lot more kills than you might imagine, even more than the Protoss might imagine here. So Stalker count, if I can click one, only have 4. 3 up here, so 7. Does look like the +1 ground level weapons is coming down for the Protoss player. Extended thermal lance has been researched. Twilight Council is on the way, so probably going to get some blink action in there. Maybe charge. That's really going to be preference. There aren't really any tanks, so charge, not a huge deal, but blink would be good for taking out these Vikings and the Banshees here. Up to 3 Banshees, 4 Vikings now. Should be double training those Vikings. Yeah, still double training those Vikings there. So plenty of Vikings to take care of these Colossi. No upgrades for the Protoss player. For the Terran player, we have +1 attack. Air is not upgraded at all. But again, that point defense drone, I think, is going to be the deciding factor of this Terran death ball, I guess, if you will. Because there are just tons and tons of Marauders here. Stem is done. Concussive Shell is done. Is Combat Shield done? I think it is. Yeah. Protoss player coming down this ramp. Don't want to be caught in that choke there. And it does look like one Banshee might get picked off there, but no, the Terran player does stem forward here. Guardian Shield and Force Field is going to be thrown down by the Protoss player. Very nicely done by the Protoss player, but the Terran player, again, has these Cloak Banshees and is not going to have many Stalkers at all to deal with them in just a second. Only 2 Stalkers remaining on the field. There are 3 Cloak Banshees. No support units to deal with these Vikings here. So the Vikings just tear away the Colossus. The Stalkers cannot shoot these Banshees here, just as I predicted. 3-point defense drones are totally negating that. Stalkers are being warped into the back, but these 3 Cloak Banshees, 7, 13, and 8 kills on them respectively. You got to have respect for those Banshees there. Should be chrono boosting all of his gateways. Actually, yeah, he has 2 chrono boosts right here to get out just as many Stalkers as possible. This Colossus is going to die almost immediately, as there just really is no ground army here for the Protoss player. It does look like probes were pulled off the line just for a minute there. They're going to go back to work. It doesn't look like the Protoss player felt that was necessary. But meanwhile, the Terran player has expanded here, and this big fight is still going on up here. 2 Ravens still alive. Not enough energy for that point defense drone, and the Stalker's blink does finish. And they're going to try to pick off both those Ravens there. Did force the Vikings to land. Don't really agree with that. The Vikings should just pick up, go back home, save those Vikings for the Colossus, because it does look like the Protoss player is still indeed producing those Colossus. Just one Colossus at a time, 1 Robo Bay, plus 2 weapons, almost done there. And it does look like the Protoss player is basically completely mined out at his main there, and throwing down the expansion somewhere. Where's he throwing this expansion down at? Usually you see a little outline. It did look like he did purchase one, but not sure what is exactly going on there. He would have been better off sending those to his natural there, but this Marine can just sit out here and get tons and tons of kills if he wanted. Army tab showing fairly even. I mean, that's what, 14. Actually, the Terran player is pulling ahead quite a bit now, but not so bad. I mean, it could be a lot worse. Those, depends a lot on angle and on upgrades, and upgrades shows 1-1 for the Terran player, and the Protoss player is at 0-2, and it looks like he is going to engage this, again, like I said, angle, and it's not the best angle. Guardian Shield is up, Stem does go down on all the Marines and the Marauders, and the Vikings are just shelling away at all these Colossus. This Colossus doesn't have a chance. tons of Marines and Marauders left to clean this up. There isn't even any medevacs, so